Even before Enter the Dragon was released, Bruce Lee had become one of the biggest box office attractions in the world. But as he was sorting through scores of offers for more and even bigger movies, he died in Hong Kong, where he and his family had been living at the time. At first, the press stories gave his cause of death as cannabis poisoning. Cannabis, as I'm sure many of you know, is the technical term for hashish and marijuana. But since nobody had ever heard of anyone dying from cannabis, many young people just didn't buy that explanation. And a later autopsy indicated that he had died from a cerebral edema, which I find out is a swelling of the brain apparently caused by an allergic reaction to some medication he was taking for a painful back injury. In any case, his mom and his brother are with us now to tell us more about the man karate experts are now calling the Galileo of the martial arts. So please welcome Grace and Robert Lee. I know that Bruce was born in the United States, but where was he raised? Where did he grow up?
He was raised in Hong Kong.
Is that where he learned the martial arts, Kung Fu?
When he was 13 years old. Yeah.
How did he get started in the martial arts?
He started with Yip Man, Chinese instructor.
Why, though? Robert, maybe you can answer. Why did Bruce get into Kung Fu and the martial arts?
Well, Bruce kind of grew up as a violent kid, and he was always involved in fights and things like that. And one day, he and his buddy was in a restaurant eating, and after the meal, they came out, and they were surrounded by a rival gang somehow. So they got into a fight, and luckily at that point in time, we had a driver at home that drive them to school and things like that. And he came in the right time, right place, and the gang, seeing the car approaching, they just fled. And that sort of more or less saved Bruce in a way. So after that, Bruce decided that he should protect himself in a better way, any way he can, really. So he talked to his friends, and at that point in time, Wing Chun was the in thing. Wing Chun is a system of martial arts, Chinese Kung Fu, that believed in economy, straight punches and things like that. And to him, at that point, was the most logical approach for protection. So he decided to talk to this old gentleman by the name of Yip Man, who later became his instructor.
And how old was he then?
He was about 13, 14, around that age.
When did he start in the movies?
When he was 6 years old.
Just 6 years old?
Yeah, he started.
He was making movies in Hong Kong?
In Hong Kong, yeah.
But obviously they weren't these kind of Kung Fu movies because he didn't learn until he was 13. So what kind of movies were they?
He used to play like a rascal.
Like the Little Rascals, the American Little Rascals? I know he was Kato in the old Green Hornet? Green Hornet series on American TV. How do you feel about the fact, Robert, that he kind of eliminated the old Oriental Asian stereotype in American movies and TV, you know, the Charlie Chan, Fu Manchu, insidious kind of weak person who is always doing evil things? You know? I'm
glad you asked that question because all along in his life, Bruce was, had been watching the tube and films and things and seeing the Chinese stereotype that you were talking about. And he said, if I ever have the chance to go up on this film like that or stage, I would never portray something like that. He said that's really a disgrace to the Chinese culture. And he said, Lord help me, let me bring the Chinese, in equality with all the other races. And I'm glad that he did that.
Why do you think he was so successful? Why do you think that he managed so, well, dramatically and eloquently to portray Chinese people as something other than they had been portrayed, particularly by, American filmmakers in the past? Why? Why did he make it so big?
Okay, my dad, I don't know if you know about this, he was involved in Cantonese opera for a long time, at least 40 years, and he was one of the best in China, so you can say that Bruce grew up in a show business family. And that's one aspect. The other one is that he has really a dynamic personality, and he can really project that personality in front of a screen or in front of people. And the third thing is that he is very sincere in what he's doing, And that really is the most important aspect as far as I can see.
Sometimes when you talk about Bruce, you use the present tense.
I still do. I always will.
Why?
Because, I don't know, it's something that is in all of us that know him or see him through the film. I don't know, I feel his presence all the time with me. When I'm maybe playing my guitar or singing or walking down the street, whatever. He's always with me. And I guess it goes true with everybody that knows him.
Mrs. Lee, why do you think that people identified so closely with your son?
He's a very nice person, my son. You know, he always helped people, you know, that needed him, you know, and he's kind of when somebody wants to, you know, like Robert, my son, you know, his brother. If anybody tried to bully him or anything like that, you know, you can never do anything to, you know, our family. He always protects. He's a very nice son.
He was married himself, wasn't he?
Yes, in the United States, in Seattle.
Did he have any kids?
Yes, he has two. A son named Brandon and the daughter Shannon.
Is the son a martial artist?
Oh yes, he can kick an inch board when he's 5 years old.
Really? He could
Yes.
shatter an
Yeah,
inch?
Bruce would hold it like that, you know, and he'd say,
Yeah.
come on, Brandon, do something, you know. So Brandon will, okay, Daddy, and Bruce said, come on.
Yeah.
Do it with the killing instinct. And, you know, he would just run right to the sideboard. I mean, to the board and kick it with a side kick and just break it.
I don't want to ask a hurtful question now, but are you satisfied with the official reasons given for your brother's death, Robert?
Yes and no. I have seen the autopsy report. And officially, he really did die of a, you know, edema of the brain, which you just stated. But knowing Hong Kong myself with so many different people, all kinds of weird people, and especially Bruce's friends, you know, some of them, it's just like a mystery to me too, in a way.
Why did he assume such mythical proportions in life and even more so after death?
Well, what he did on screen is something that was new and is new and nobody has yet done before. And he just played a true, sincere martial artist in film, and he really managed to project that image. And I guess when the public saw that, it's just something that they've never seen before, and it's something that is really dynamite and dynamic. And I believe in myself, even though I'm his brother.